Okay, so for today's SATA question, let's do diagnosis and symptoms. Sometimes you can select all that apply by doing topics, subject, and action. Now let's do diagnosis and symptom. And of course we have to do action because it's select all that apply. That's our action. That's a given. But sometimes there's more actions. So let's read this question today and see how to answer it. A 58-year-old homeless male is brought to the emergency room by the police after being found unconscious on the street. Okay, so there's our symptom, unconscious, right? Following examination and evaluation of laboratory test results, a diagnosis of diabetic ketoacidosis is confirmed. So there's our diagnosis, diabetic ketoacidosis. Which of the following information would be the most crucial to document on the client's chart? So there's our action. So the diagnosis is diabetes. So write 3 things that you know about diabetes. The symptom is unconsciousness. Now that could be a symptom of his diabetes, or that could be a symptom of something else, right? He is a 58-year-old homeless male, so we don't know why he's unconscious. So we want to pick choices that have to do with unconsciousness, and we want to pick choices that have to do with diabetes, right? Select all that apply. Okay, so what are we going to do if we find someone unconscious? Why are they unconscious? So we're going to do a neurocheck. That much I know. What are we going to do with a person that's diabetic? Well, we're going to take their blood sugar, and they may need sugar, right? They may be experiencing a low blood sugar. So let's see what our choices are. Size of pupils and reaction of pupils to light. Okay, that is part of a neurocheck, so let me pick it. Response to verbal and painful stimuli, number 2. That's part of a neurocheck, so let's pick it. So far I picked 1 and 2. Skin condition and presence of any rashes, ulcers, or lesions. Well, ulcers is part of diabetes, right? So let me pick it. Again, I don't know why he's unconscious. I'm just going to pick all the choices that have to do with diabetes, because that's what he was diagnosed with, and unconsciousness. Blood pressure, well, we're going to take vital signs, and we're going to do vital signs for a neurocheck, so I'm going to pick that. Length of time the client has had diabetes, that's neither here nor there. The problem is he's unconscious, and we know he's diabetic from his lab results, right? So we'll leave that blank. We will not pick that. And hourly urinary output, we will pick that, because what are the 3 signs of diabetes? Polyuria, polyphagia, and polydipsia. So polyuria, so let's do an hourly urinary output. So my answer for this multiple choice is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Alright, let's see if I'm right. So our first strategy for selecting all that apply is to look at the topic, write 3 things you know about the topic, and look at the subject, write 3 things you know about the subject, and pay attention to your action. In our diabetes example, the topic was diabetes, the subject was unconsciousness, and we were supposed to document what was critical. That was our action. But there's another way you can answer SATA questions. The second way to answer select all that apply questions is to pay attention to the diagnosis. Write 3 to 5 things you know about the diagnosis. For example, in our example, it was diabetes. So right away you want to think to yourself, what 3 things do I know about diabetes? Write it down and select all of the things that pertain to diabetes. And also the symptom. Write 3 things you know about the symptom. In this particular case, the homeless man was found unconscious. So that might be a symptom of the disease, diagnosis, or it might be something totally unrelated. So write 3 to 5 things you know about the symptom. And again, pay attention to your action. If it doesn't pertain to diagnosis, if it doesn't pertain to the symptom, if it doesn't pertain to the action, throw it out. So the answer to the question that you see on the screen is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Diabetic ketoacidosis is potentially life-threatening. The state of unconsciousness requires very astute monitoring of neurological condition. Frequent assessments of neurological status, including the client's ability to respond to stimuli, blood pressure, and urinary output, need to be documented. Assessment of skin conditions and for the presence of lesions, bruises, ulcers, bumps is documented. To assess for possible injuries such as falls associated with head injury or for internal injuries. Although it would be helpful to know how long the client has had diabetes, this information is not absolutely essential to document. And at the bottom of this question it says, which of the following information would be most crucial to document in the client's chart? So always look for the diagnosis and the symptoms. Write 3 of each. Or look for the topic and the symptom. In this case, it said a diagnosis of ketoacidosis. So go with the diagnosis and the symptom and always pay attention to your action.